Hello, sunshine. Thank you for joining me. I want to introduce myself. I'm Coral Ramos, real estate agent based here in the Bay Area. I'm currently located in San Jose, California. I want to introduce myself. Who am I? And I want to get to know you as well. Has there been anything anyone has said to you that you regret? And are you still in a place where you can make that choice or that dream come true? So, a little bit about myself. I went to college, did the thing I was supposed to do, and somehow I found out that I should have probably followed my intuition. Even the choices I took in college, they weren't completely my own. I wanted to go to a different college. I wanted to do a different major. After college, I wanted to live abroad instead of looking for a job. All of those things, including talent and being creative and wanting to do something that is out of the box, has always been with me and followed me throughout my life. So, if you are still able to take that chance on yourself, I want to encourage you to do it. And I want you to tell yourself, hey, that career, that small business I wanted to launch, believe in yourself. I believe in you. How I got here, being a real estate agent, is actually a dream of mine and something I've been wanting to do for years. Having my own business, making the customer experience more relevant, making it about the people. And with the housing crisis here in Northern California, there aren't enough homes, and a lot of the times, communities that are affordable get gentrified. So, my business is oriented in a way where I give back to the community. And how I do that is by supporting local organizations financially, giving donations to people who need it the most. So, as a commitment of my business and my profits, I commit to that. And when you support my business, you are also part of that vision of extending that hand, that financial need that's a neighbor might really benefit from it, that a family might be able to stay together because of the scholarships and financial assistance I want to provide within my community where I sell homes. I also want to ask how you found about this channel. So please, in the comments, tell me how you found me, what search you put in there, and I want to know if you have any questions about real estate or becoming a real estate agent. I would love to help. I am really an open book, so I want to help you as much as possible. And if you are ever in a place where you want to go the real estate route, here's a little bit something about that. It is a long process. I will not mislead you. And your head really has to be in the game. Some people have taken the test like 5 times, and their parents were real estate agents. For me, it actually, on my first time, I passed the real estate test, but I had the advantage that my career is in the legal field, and that really helped me create this dream of becoming a real estate agent, because in real estate, you're doing a lot of contracts, right? And a lot of the time in legal, all like most legal documents is like a mini contract. So for me, it was actually really seamless to take the test. And I highly recommend that you find a real estate class that really clicks with you. There are actually a lot of free resources, not only on YouTube, but through agents and different businesses that train agents, they offer like mini free classes or like very affordable classes. Like some real estate agents are creating their own coursework. So I highly recommend that you diversify the type of studying you do. So don't just do one course that you pay hundreds of dollars for, but really the affordable courses, the ones that are like $25 for a guidebook, those are also very good. Like, you don't have to pay a lot of money. Like, what you have to do is commit to studying. And no one can really tell you how much you're going to pay for that course if you are actually not committed to going to the library or going to a coffee shop or actually reading the material and memorizing it, right? So, like good old studying, right? Like when you were in elementary or in high school, you had to take a test. And there's really no amount of money that you can pay to like make that information stick unless you have a tutor. But of course, even a tutor will say like, "Hey, you have homework." Right? So, no amount of money. I just want to tell you, don't get tricked by paying hundreds of dollars, taking a fancy course to before qualifying to get the real estate exam. So the steps are taking the coursework, and then you actually qualify to even sign up for the real estate tests. At least that's how it is here in California. I don't know. It's probably not too different in other states. Like, it's very similar, but the requirement in California is taking courses. Each course will actually give you a checkpoint where there will be tests for each coursework. Um, and from those designated coursework, like classes, like contracts or like California law, etc., you will have to complete those. It's like around like 45 hours. But actually, just check the real estate website so you can have the most accurate information, like the government website. Um, and make sure that that is in your checklist. I will also link the resources, um, the page where you can look for requisites, and you sign up for the class months in advance. Probably takes around 6 months to get through the coursework, those hours that are required. And after that, you sign up for the test. And I do highly recommend that you get flashcards. Those were super helpful, like actually memorizing the concepts for the real estate test. Not only understanding the ethics, because a lot of it, they just kind of test you on like your character, but also making sure that you memorize actual terms, right? Like, you have to memorize these things. And that will come in handy because when you're taking the test, you will be able to identify whether a question is like true or false or is like trying to trick you based on the definition of the keyword of the vocabulary. So I cannot emphasize enough studying the vocab, memorizing it. That is very key to passing the real estate agent test. And of course, once you pass the real estate agent test, there is an option of submitting your fingerprints and background check before you get your test results. But then once you get that option and then you don't pass your test, you actually lose that money in that application, that background test. That background check is lost. That money is lost with the test examination if you didn't pass the test. But if you do pass, then your application just goes straight to the Department of Real Estate, and you get your license, and it's actually inactive. And you are not a real estate agent yet until you find a broker. So yeah, there are a lot of steps. If you want to become a real estate agent, you want to make sure you're calculating like 6 months to 1 year, because it does take a while, especially if you're not doing it full time, right? If you're doing it like as a side business, part time, etc. And also, a lot of the times, real estate is not a full time job, right? Because it could be like a 10-hour day, and then it could be, you know, like a 2-hour day. Um, so definitely like make sure that you have savings, or your spouse, your partner, or another job, while you are pursuing this real estate career. And in terms of how you get your license active is by getting a broker, right? So once your application has gone through and all of your requisites are met, you pass the exam, background check is good, then to get an active real estate license, you have to get a broker. And you will get so much mail that first few months where you become a inactive real estate agent, because there are just so many uh, brokers and teams in your area that want to train you, that want that fresh like agent, so they can like teach their systems. And also, a lot of the times, I don't know if they're trying to like get get there before their competition, but for me, literally, for example, Keller Williams reached out to me and they tried to recruit me, and I was very impressed. I thought they were excellent. Their resources, all of that was extremely impressive, and everything was like so organized. I have no complaints aside from how expensive it was going to be for them to be my broker. So when it comes to real estate, your broker is your supervisor. Even if you are on your own, even if you don't have a team of agents supporting you, you have to report to your broker until you become a broker yourself, but it's still a lot of responsibility, right? So if you're not going to be your own broker in the next 3 to 5 years, like make sure that the broker you choose is actually someone, um, or a company that is going to give you a fair wage in terms of your profit, right? Because my current broker is 80/20. Like I keep 80% of the profit and they keep 20, and then it's capped at 16K. That's with eXp Realty. But other brokerages, they are charging like 30K and above. So what it means to cap is if you make profit, you actually have to return a certain amount to your broker. So for example, you sold the house and your profit is 10K. So those 10K, it's going to be a 80/20. You keep 80% of the profit, and up until you cap out, you pay from that 20%. So like I would basically pay the amount that I owe, not only from that transaction, but from all the other transactions, right? So for example, 2K will go to them, and 2K up until 16K is given to them, which is totally fine, because they are going to be responsible for your transactions. They're going to provide a lot of services. They will even provide office space if you want in certain places. But yeah, my broker is cloud based, so that's like a huge advantage. That's why it's like way more affordable to go with eXp Realty. They also have incredible mentors and coaches, and it's all free. It's just like they invest in you so much that uh, it's something that you need as an agent, right? To keep you motivated. So I definitely recommend doing your thorough research because you're going to be stuck with your broker, and it's a huge inconvenience to, have an active license and then realize 6 months to a year that you haven't made a sale, and then when you do make a sale, most of the money is actually going to go to your broker. So it's like a huge misconception, and a lot of the times agents just drop out of this career, or it takes them a year or two to actually make a full-time living out of real estate. But like, if you want any recommendations what it's like, it's also very fun if you like to be around people. It's a very people oriented job, and it's not your typical 9 to 5, but it's also a way to provide like dreams for people, right? Like, starting a home is one of the biggest dreams. It is literally the American dream, and why so many immigrants come to this country, just to have that white picket fence, right? So you are basically selling lifestyle, you're selling dreams, you are selling uh, not only livelihood, but it's an asset, right? Like, 30 years ago, homes here in the Bay Area were a fraction of what they are worth today. Like, for people who are from the Bay Area and have homes, like their parents have homes, it's like a gold mine, right? Like, that's why they say, like, buy today, like invest today, because even if the economy fluctuates, there's something called inflation, right? And $1, if you don't make that dollar into an asset, it's actually going to be working against you. That's why it's so important to invest in real estate and like assets, because it's something of value that will rise with inflation. Um, so I highly recommend doing your research and also buying something that is at maximum like 40 to 45% of your income, because then otherwise you're gonna be house poor, right? Like, who wants to be house poor? Like, not be able to take vacations, not be able to have a nice car. So you really want to make sure that you don't chew more than what you can afford. And a real estate agent like myself will help you navigate that process, and will give you realistic data, and will give you the insights of whether that house is the right call for you. Like, we will present the information for you. You need to ask the questions to us. We're not financial advisors, we're not attorneys, right? But we are knowledgeable and licensed by the state of California to be an asset to you as the customer. And either representing a buyer or a seller, I will negotiate with the other real estate agent, because I know the ins and outs of how to get the best price for you. So I encourage you to ask me any questions you may have. I am based here in the Bay Area, and I want to share with you that I freaking love living in the Bay Area. Not because it's expensive, but because of not only the people, everyone is kind of like hippie and like bougie at the same time. Like, it's a weird vibe, and I love it, right? Like, you love the environment, but you also love $10 lattes. So I really like the people here. Maybe it's not for everyone. I totally understand. But I also have referrals in other states I can give you. Uh, I know agents in Austin, Texas, Nevada, Las Vegas, Florida, Orlando area, and just let me know. Even in the Ohio, Wisconsin area, Washington, Oregon. Let me know if you want to leave the Bay Area or if you want to come to the Bay Area, because the weather is excellent. People are so friendly. Nature, the outdoors, you got it all here. So Yes, send me your questions. And thank you so much for watching.